The Vatican is in chaos. Pope Leo XIV has died unexpectedly, leaving the Catholic Church without a leader. Cardinal Thomas Lawrence, the Dean of the College of Cardinals, arrives at the Apostolic Palace to oversee the transition. He's shaken, unsure how the Pope, who seemed healthy, could die so suddenly. The Pope's doctor whispers it was a heart attack, but Lawrence senses something's off. The doctor hesitates, admitting he hid the Pope's condition to avoid rumors that could weaken the Church's authority. Lawrence nods, but his mind races. Rumors could spark panic among the faithful. The Church is already fragile, with factions clashing over its future. If the Pope's death wasn't natural, it could unravel everything. Lawrence keeps this to himself, knowing an investigation would taint the Vatican's image. For now, the priority is electing a new pope, and the conclave must proceed. The conclave is a sacred, secretive process. Cardinals from around the world gather in the Sistine Chapel, sealed off from the outside. No phones, no internet, just prayer and votes. Lawrence, as dean, must guide them to choose the next pope, but he's uneasy. The Church is split. Conservatives want tradition, liberals push for reform, and everyone's eyeing the throne. Lawrence meets with Cardinal Aldo Bellini, a liberal and his old friend, who trusts him to keep the process fair. Bellini warns that the wrong pope could set the Church back decades. Lawrence agrees but stays focused on his duty, not the politics. He's not a candidate, he just wants to uncover the truth about the Pope's death without causing a scandal. 3 months later, the cardinals arrive in Rome for the conclave. The Vatican buzzes with tension. Everyone's whispering, plotting, sizing each other up. Lawrence feels the weight of suspicion. The cardinals are ambitious, and the Pope's sudden death has them on edge. But he's distracted by a tip from a colleague. Cardinal Trembly, a progressive, was the last person to see the Pope alive. They'd argued, and the Pope threatened to discipline him. Lawrence's gut twists. This could point to foul play. That night, a shock ripples through the conclave. A new cardinal, Vincent Benitez from Kabul, arrives unannounced. No one knew the Pope had secretly named him. Lawrence verifies Benitez's credentials. A letter from the Pope and his cardinals ring. At dinner, Lawrence introduces Benitez, who's quiet and unassuming. The cardinals are curious but dismissive. He's an outsider, no threat. Bellini, meanwhile, rallies his liberal faction, pushing for women's roles in the Church and racial equality. His ideas are bold but unpopular, likely capping his votes at 15. Bellini tells Lawrence he's not aiming to win, just to block Tedesco. Lawrence respects his fight but stays neutral, his mind on Tremblay's meeting with the Pope. After dinner, Lawrence confronts Tremblay privately. "Why did the Pope threaten you?" he asks. Tremblay freezes, then denies any wrongdoing, calling it a misunderstanding. He claims the Pope was upset over a minor issue, nothing serious. Lawrence presses, but Tremblay doubles down, demanding a face-to-face with his accuser. In the conclave's isolation, that's impossible. Lawrence can't prove Tremblay's lying, but he doesn't trust him. He uses his authority to have aides outside investigate Tremblay's past, hoping for answers. For now, he lets it go. The conclave's first vote is tomorrow, and he can't afford distractions. The next morning, the Sistine Chapel is silent as the cardinals prepare to vote. Lawrence opens with a speech, his voice steady. "Certainty is our greatest enemy," he says. "People and truths are complex. Don't assume one path is right." He's urging them to think beyond factions, to choose a pope who unites, not divides. He also hints at his doubts about the Pope's death, asking them to question their assumptions. The cardinals barely react, their minds on the vote. Each writes a name on a ballot, and the results are read aloud. Cardinal Goffredo Goffo, a reformist, leads with 21 votes. Tedesco follows with 18, Bellini has 10, Tremblay gets 6, and, strangely, Lawrence has 6. No one reaches the 72-vote majority, so the election continues. Lawrence is stunned by his votes. He never wanted to be pope. He wonders who's behind it. His aides deliver 2 reports. First, Benitez's story checks out. The Pope funded his medical treatment for a chronic illness, keeping him hidden to avoid scrutiny. Benitez owes the Pope everything, which explains his loyalty. Second, Tremblay's story doesn't add up. An aide says Tremblay skipped a key meeting the night the Pope died, contradicting his claim. Another source insists he was there, but the aide warns Lawrence not to trust the source. It sounds rehearsed. Lawrence's suspicion grows. Tremblay's hiding something, maybe tied to the Pope's death. Back in his room, he runs into Benitez, who admits he voted for Lawrence, believing in his fairness. Lawrence brushes it off, but Bellini overhears and storms in, furious. You voted for yourself? Bellini snaps. I thought we were allies against Tedesco. Lawrence denies any ambition, but Bellini's not convinced. Every cardinal dreams of the papacy, he says. Search your heart. Lawrence insists he's only investigating the Pope's death, not campaigning. Bellini walks away, their trust frayed. That night, Lawrence hears a woman's voice in the Vatican corridors. He follows but finds only shadows, leaving him rattled. Is he imagining things, or is someone watching? Day 2's vote shifts the race. Goffo jumps to 34 votes, Tedesco holds at 18, Tremblay rises to 16, Bellini drops to 4, and Lawrence climbs to 9. No majority, so they vote again. The cardinals are realigning, but Lawrence can't shake Bellini's accusation. Is he secretly ambitious? He pushes the thought aside, focusing on the investigation. At lunch, Goffo snaps when a nun, Sister Agnes, accidentally spills water on him. His outburst surprises Lawrence. Goffo's usually calm. Lawrence approaches Sister Agnes later, sensing she knows something. She's nervous, dodging his questions. With help from an aide, Lawrence uncovers a bombshell. Goffo had an affair 30 years ago, fathering a child. Sister Agnes, posing as a nun, was sent to expose him. Goffo confesses under pressure, admitting his sin. Lawrence demands he withdraw from the race, and Goffo complies, devastated. The next vote reflects the scandal. Tremblay surges to 40 votes, Tedesco has 34, Bellini recovers to 13, and Lawrence drops to 1. Lawrence is relieved, fewer votes mean less suspicion. But he's troubled by his consistent support. If he keeps getting votes, the conclave could stall, letting Tedesco or Tremblay win. His aides report new evidence. Tremblay was involved in shady financial deals, selling church secrets for profit. They fought over it, and the Pope threatened to expose him. Lawrence confronts Tremblay, who denies everything, claiming there's no proof. Lawrence knows he's right. Without hard evidence, it's his word against Tremblay's. He searches the Pope's private papers, finding a ledger detailing Tremblay's deals. It's damning, but using it could taint the church's reputation. Lawrence shares the ledger with Bellini, hoping he'll use it to stop Tremblay. Bellini refuses, accusing Lawrence of scheming to win the papacy. You're smearing Tremblay to clear your path, he says. Lawrence pleads, I don't want to be Pope. This is about the truth. Bellini walks away, unconvinced. Lawrence wrestles with his next move. Exposing Tremblay could backfire, strengthening Tedesco, who thrives on claims of church corruption. But hiding the truth lets a corrupt man lead. Lawrence meets with Bellini and other liberals, proposing they back Benitez, who has 5 votes and no baggage. If they unite, they could block both Tremblay and Tedesco. Bellini hesitates. Benitez is an unknown. Lawrence urges Benitez to redirect his votes to Bellini, but Benitez refuses, insisting Lawrence is the best choice for his uncertainty and fairness. The conclave drags on, and tension spikes. Sister Agnes approaches Lawrence, revealing Tremblay arranged for her to expose Goffo, hoping to clear his own path. Lawrence confronts Tremblay again, armed with the ledger. Tremblay smirks, daring him to go public without proof of the Pope's death. Lawrence is stuck. Exposing the ledger risks the church's credibility. Then, a bomb explodes outside the Vatican, shaking the Sistine Chapel. The conclave halts as news spreads. A rival sect claimed responsibility, targeting the election. Tedesco seizes the moment, demanding a crackdown on other faiths, expelling them from Italy. His aggressive stance sways some cardinals. Benitez, calm amid the chaos, speaks up, advocating for unity and reform, including women's roles in the church. His words resonate even with Lawrence. In the final vote, Lawrence makes a choice. He knows exposing Tremblay's corruption could fracture the church, and Tedesco's rise would be worse. He votes for Benitez, trusting his vision. The ballots are counted. Benitez wins with 73 votes, becoming Pope John XI. The cardinals are stunned but accept the result. Lawrence feels relief. He's preserved the church's unity, even if the truth about Tremblay stays buried. Benitez, now Pope, thanks Lawrence privately, promising to lead with humility. As the conclave ends, an aide pulls Lawrence aside with a final report. It's about Benitez. The Pope didn't fund his medical treatment for a typical illness. Benitez is transgender, born with both male and female traits. The Pope paid for surgery to align his body with his male identity, keeping it secret to protect him. Lawrence is floored. Benitez's push for inclusivity, his rejection of certainty, it all makes sense. The church has a revolutionary leader, but the truth could spark outrage. Lawrence keeps it quiet, knowing the world isn't ready. He leaves the Vatican, grappling with the weight of secrets, but hopeful for the Church's future under Pope John.